Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a really fundamental shift happening in technology, something huge. The database is learning to talk. Let's get right into it.
I mean, just think about that for a second. What if you could actually talk to your data? Imagine not needing to be a data scientist or, a coding genius just to figure out what's hidden in all that information. What if you could just ask a question in plain English?
And this right here is the core promise of putting AI into databases. It's all about turning complexity into a simple conversation. I mean, look at this. On one side, you've got the old way, this complicated mess of code, SQL, that really only an expert can write. And on the other, the new way, a simple question that anyone, and I mean anyone, could ask. This little change, it has absolutely massive implications.
Okay, so to really get our heads around this revolution, let's start with a simple way to think about what a database even is.
Just imagine a database is like this huge, perfectly organized library. It's got everything you could ever want to know. But, and this is a big but, there's a catch. To find anything, you need to speak this weird secret language, kind of like SQL, and you pretty much have to be an expert librarian to do it. So yeah, all that data is super powerful, but for most people, it's been totally locked away, completely out of reach.
So, what's the solution here? Well, what if we could bring in a whole new kind of librarian, a super librarian, powered by AI?
Now, this isn't just some minor upgrade. We're talking about a fundamental shift from managing data to actually conversing with it. This AI super librarian, it doesn't just go and grab the book you asked for. No, it understands context, it learns from your questions, and it even keeps the whole library organized all by itself. The entire system just gets smarter over time.
Okay, so how does this super librarian actually pull this off? What's the magic behind it? Let's break down the key pieces of tech that make it all possible.
All right, first up is something called predictive query optimization. The easiest way to think about it is like a super smart GPS. Instead of always taking the same old route, the database actually learns from every single question it's ever been asked. It looks at all the past searches, figures out user habits, and then it predicts the absolute fastest, most efficient way to get you your answer.
And this quote really illustrates just how powerful that learning ability is. The system isn't just blindly following orders anymore. It's looking at trends and actively suggesting better, smarter ways to do things.
And the results? Well, they're pretty dramatic. We're talking about real-world studies where this kind of smart optimization has cut down query response times by an average of 40%. That is a huge performance boost. It means we get our answers, we get our insights way, way faster.
So that leads right into our next big idea, the autonomous database. And this is where that AI super librarian really starts to shine. It's a database that pretty much runs itself. It automatically handles all the boring but, super critical stuff. Security patches, performance tuning, finding threats, and that frees up the human experts to focus on the big picture, the strategic stuff, instead of just, keeping the lights on.
And look, this stuff isn't just theory or science fiction. It is already out there right now, solving some really complex, real-world problems.
So let's check out 3 quick examples that really show off how versatile this tech is. We're talking about making sense of everything from messy medical notes and murky sonar images, all the way to huge libraries of PDFs.
Okay, first up, healthcare. So doctor's notes, right? They can be super long, filled with all kinds of unstructured text. This makes figuring out the right billing codes a really slow and error-prone process. But now, an AI can actually read through all that noise and find the one critical piece of information, like spotting the word bleed, to automatically assign the correct medical code. It's a game changer.
All right, next, let's go deep underwater. Imagine you're in water so murky that cameras are totally useless. This is where underwater robots have to use sonar. The problem? Sonar images are incredibly noisy and hard to read, but AI algorithms can cut right through that static, finding patterns a human eye would totally miss. It literally allows the robot to see and map its environment.
And for our last one, just think about all the information that's locked away in countless PDF files. A simple keyword search is, well, it's pretty clumsy, right? It misses the context. But an AI-powered system can understand the actual meaning behind the words. This lets you ask a really complex question, like, what are the effects of homelessness? And it gives you a direct, synthesized answer right from the document. It's like you're actually having a conversation with your documents. It's amazing. But okay, let's get real for a second.
Like any powerful new technology, this AI superlibrarian is not perfect. It's really important that we understand its limits.
This new power comes with some pretty big challenges. For one, you've got the black box problem. The AI gives you an answer, but you often have no idea how it got there. It can also, well, it can hallucinate, which is just a nice way of saying it can confidently make stuff up. These things also use a ton of energy. And there's a more subtle problem. Getting a direct answer right away means you might miss out on that fun of exploring and discovering things by accident.
And this quote from Dr. William Hirsch, an expert in this field, just hits the nail on the head. He says when it's really critical, for serious research or health information, experts still scroll right past the AI answer to get to the original sources. And that tells you everything. For now, our AI superlibrarian is a brilliant assistant, for sure, but it's not the final authority. Not yet.
So where does all this leave us? Well, we are smack in the middle of a massive transformation in how we deal with information. Period.
This table does a great job of bringing the whole shift into focus. You can see it right there. Across the board, we're moving away from systems that are manual, rigid, and need an expert to run them, and we're moving towards systems that are automatic, flexible, and intelligent. It's a huge leap from just looking at old data to getting real, predictive insights.
And honestly, this is the key thing to remember. For decades, a database was just a box, a passive place you stored information. Now it's becoming an active partner, an intelligent system that you can actually collaborate with to find insights, solve problems, and even create brand new knowledge.
Which leaves us with one last big thought. As these powerful tools completely dissolve the barriers between us and our data, the most important question isn't how we find the answers anymore, it's what we're going to choose to ask. Thanks for watching The Explainer.